expertise in corporate commercial law, gambling regulation, and wastewater regulatory compliance, where she advises on complex legal and policy-driven matters within highly regulated industry. A certified data protection officer with certification from the International Association of Privacy Professionalism, Olubunmi brings a forward-thinking perspective to data governance and regulatory compliance, helping organizations align with global best practices. Beyond her legal practice, she is a respected speaker and mentor committed to knowledge sharing and capacity building. She has spoken at the NBA Young Lawyer Week induction and served as a panelist at the Ikeja NBA Conference 2024. She has also trained young professionals in collaboration with the Bank of Industry and the National Youth Service Corps, equipping them with practical skills for professional and entrepreneur success. It is indeed a pleasure to welcome to the mic, to the virtual mic, like our guest speaker said, Miss Olubunmi Feyintola Olorutegbe.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening.
You're welcome, man. Good evening, man.
Thank you very much. And I can see the emojis, so I know people are active. Okay. So
Yes,
we are going to be discussing. Yeah, I can see that. Good. So it's a pleasure to be here today, and thank you, Mr. Ayolawa, for this opportunity. I try not to pass on this opportunity to speak to people, about experiences and just teaching them, whether it be the technical aspect or it has to do with soft skills. So let's dive into it. So we are going to be speaking about the laws of life. And I know I shared is my presentation going to be shared here? Hello? Okay. All right. I can see that. So can I start? But I would like to see the slides so I can speak to it. Okay, so we have the laws of life, foundations for transformation and lasting impact. So the next slide, please. Okay, so the introduction, we are saying life does not respond to wishes, life responds to laws. And we should know that for life, that's why for lawyers, we can say we are the only learned people. Forgive me if you are not a lawyer. Because basically the life we are in, the life we are in is governed by rules and laws, basically. That is why everywhere you go, every country has a constitution. Do you understand? Before Ayolawa Foundation can function as it is, it must be registered with the CAC. It must have its constitution, if I'm not wrong. So we as people must not neglect the fact that we are in this life, and the fact that our everyday activities is governed by rules and regulations. And I said it's like gravity. There are principles and laws that govern every outcome that we see, whether we acknowledge it or not. And these laws, fortunately or unfortunately, the laws of life are abstract. You can't hold on to it, but they are lived realities. Ignore them and life becomes difficult. I know here, I wrote something here. I said, so I said the laws include law of honor, law of listening, law of consistency, the law of structure, the law of giving, and there's so many more. There's a law of attraction, there's a law of mediation. So many like that. But I said we are going to dwell on two for today: the law of honor and the law of listening. And I picked these two because I have seen people fail woefully in life, in career, in finances, just because they ignored the law of honor. And I said this. I said, honor is in two phases. Honor to men and honor for things. In fact, some people have termed this law of honor as a spiritual law. And they'll say, for those of us who are Christians, forgive me, they will say, there's a portion of our Bible that says, honor should be shown to all men. Do you understand? Honor is when you give high respect for someone or something. And for those of us, and I know across every religion, I'm going to be using the Bible because that is what I'm familiar with. Forgive me again. Honor your mother and your father. And it is the only, I think the only law that has the consequences. Maybe it will make you live long or something. And I know across board, the Muslims, Buddhas, everybody has, something to say about honoring, your parents. So, and I said honor is a moral quality reflecting your ethical virtues and integrity. And if you are writing, I want us to note this down, please. Or you can just quickly type it. Honor can be described as superior currency that opens doors for personal success and creates opportunities. Honor will open doors that talents and gifts cannot give to you. But, we may not know this, but I can quickly whisper to us that politicians know this. So, there's something caught my attention before President Buhari died. Anytime we see President Tinubu and Buhari, you see Tinubu stooping, he doesn't, he bows, he literally bows. These people are mostly like sworn enemies, or, they disagree on a lot of things. But I've seen them display that, and I just laugh and I go like, oh my God, I wish we, the younger people, can understand what it is to honor people and to honor things. Can we please go to the next slide? So I said honor is not politeness. It is recognition. It is value expressed. The law of honor teaches us a simple but powerful truth. You cannot rise above what you consistently dishonor. If you dishonor times, you will always be late and unprepared. I have seen this so many times for those of us who work. They tell us our resumption time is 8 a.m., 9 a.m. A lot of us strolling at 11 a.m. with no impact. It's not as if you are resuming at 11 a.m. to make an impact. If you dishonor relationships, you will struggle with loyalty and trust. A lot of us. And when I say a lot of us, I'm not judging. I'm just saying so that, we'll know that it is all inclusive. We dishonor relationships. Oh my God. And this, our younger generations, we have what we call the cancel culture. Once you offend me like this, I won't take it all. I will just, I'm throwing you away. If you dishonor relationships, you will struggle with loyalty and trust. If you dishonor opportunity, it will stop showing up. Maybe I should digress a little bit here. When we talk about honor, it is one of the most important laws on earth. When I say we dishonor time, there's something we call African time. That is, African time is simply lateness to everything. But you agree with me that anytime you are traveling, you don't miss your flight though. If they tell you your flight is by 5 a.m., a lot of us are there by 3 a.m. So we have a people who honor their time and their structure, but we still fight, we still battle with African time here. We are dishonoring time. A lot of us know that at this time in my life, I'm supposed to do something, or I'm supposed to be doing something, or I am supposed to log off my phone. I'm not supposed to be on social media 24/7. We are dishonoring time, forgetting that everybody, including Dangote, we all have 24 hours. So a lot of us dishonor time by just spending so much time on our social media, just typing and yapping away. These relationships, this is a funny thing. And I was laughing today because I was somewhere today and they were talking about relationships. And, I am struggling a bit on how to start and maintain this discourse on honoring and dishonoring relationships. You see, we cannot do anything. We live in a world of men. We cannot do anything without each other, without people around us. Some of us will say, "Oh, I don't need this person. I don't need this person." Some of us even say, "So far I pray, God will come through." But we forget that even God, needs us as men to be able to do some things on earth. Relationships are so important. You never know who your helper would be. You never know who you are going to help and save their lives. So when you dishonor relationships based on the smallest aches, it is a pathway to destruction for a lot of people. I will come back to these relationships. Then I said, but here it is where it becomes personal. Do you honor your own potential? Do you honor your own self? Do you honor your commitments even when no one is watching? What is your personal structure that you have? What have you set out for yourself? Do you honor the process required to be who you say you want to be? At no point in time, you will hardly find anyone who is comfortable where they are in life, so to speak. Nobody. But that means we are all looking towards attaining, a certain milestone, a certain goal, achieving more. So have you set out that process, and how have you committed yourself to honoring that process to become who you want to be? Please, let me see the next slide, please. Many people want success, but they dishonor discipline. That's how you say, the popular one is when people want to lose weight, or they want to get a certification, or they want to get a job, or they want to change their job, or they want to start a business, or they want to be more financially disciplined. But they dishonor that discipline that is tied to that particular thing they want. A lot of us want influence, but we dishonor both. There are a lot of us here that the moment we see someone who is doing well, somebody who is rich, somebody who is wealthy, or we see them, we automatically tie people's success to fraud, to jazz, to OS, if you understand what I mean. We do not, we fail or we struggle with the concept that people can get money, or people have gotten to certain positions in their life through hard work, through grit, through resilience. So if, for instance, you see someone who looks good, who drives a good car, who is living, comfortable, or they have a kind of life that we want, we are quick, to disregard the, in this Nigeria that we are. Nothing, way if you tell me the person don't do something, we are quick to, and if we have that kind of mindset, I am sorry, that lifestyle will elude us. That kind of lifestyle will run away from us. We want results, but we dishonor the effort. Life does not reward desire. You can wish from now till 20 years. life will just be looking at you. You'll be looking at life, or life will be looking at you. Life only rewards alignment. You align with what you want. You align towards your goal. When you begin to honor your time, you become more productive. When you begin to honor your body, in fact, for those of us who are hooked on soda, for those of us who are hooked on, if you have small headache, I'm taking Panadol, I'm taking paracetamol. We are dishonoring our body. I hope you know. If we don't know that, let us quickly note that now. If you dishonor your body, if you begin to honor your body, you gain energy, you gain confidence. If you begin to honor your word, you become trustworthy. If you begin to honor others, you build powerful relationships. And you see, and this is relationship again. We call it networking. Some of us call it networking. People pay a lot of money to go to parties, to go to events, to go to conferences. People buy first class tickets, business class tickets. People buy, boat cruises just to meet people. We call it networking. A lot of us don't understand that our success is hinged on having relations. And you may not know, it may not be, there are times the kind of relationships we desire, it may not come in the form that we think. So I may think that, if I meet one senator today, life will change. But you are wrong. If you only honor the people who are ahead of you, then you have gotten the concept of honor wrong. You honor all men, including the security, including the gate man, including your cook, including the smallest child. You honor everybody. You build relationships through honor. We should not be quick to disregard people, to disregard men because of the way they look or because of the certain way they talk. I know I've seen and I've been in places where, and I know we Nigerians do it a lot. We are quick to joke about people who don't speak well, who are not eloquent. But we forget that what they lack in eloquence, they probably make up in loyalty. They make up in being reliable. They make up in their own small networking. And I'll quickly give us an instance. My own older brother wanted to meet the Oni of Ife. He was having some projects. Can you please give me a thumbs up if you are still on this call, so I know I'm not just speaking? Oh, good. Thank you. So my brother wanted to meet the Oni of Ife. Oh, thank you guys. I see that. Thank you. And he was just casually discussing with a driver, an Uber driver who carries him around anytime he's in Lagos. At that time, he was in Abuja. And he was just casually, he was on the phone discussing with someone how he could meet him. And guess what? Just guess what, guys? The driver's mom and the Oni of Ife's mom or grandmother grew up in the same area. And the guy said, don't worry now. I'll call my mom. I'll call my mom and she'll say, but long story short, my brother met the Oni of Ife through his driver. When he told me, I was shaking my head because I know the guy and I did not believe it. This is a guy that just drives this normal Corolla in Lagos, not knowing he had direct access to the Oni of Ife. Again, we must honor other people to build powerful relationships. We must not be quick to be judgmental. We must not be quick to throw away anybody. People will hurt us. That is inevitable. If we live in this world, so far you interact with men, with people, you must have it at the back of your mind that people will offend you. So once you have it at the back of your mind like that, people will offend you. We are from different backgrounds. Human beings are naturally selfish. So if you have that in mind, you will know that people will do things that will hurt you from time to time. But you cannot, because of that, throw away people or relationships. Now, that is not to say because I have to balance it. That is not to say we should entertain toxic people and toxic relationships. Do we understand that? Please let me give me a thumbs up if you understood what I just said. Good. Good. So I said honor is the currency of elevation. You see, this thing happens everywhere around us. It happens everywhere around us, but we have failed to see it or note it because we are used to it. Now, a lot of these people that we see around us, somebody knows somebody that knows somebody, or I want to do something, and I am here because I met Mr. Lawal through someone. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are hearing what I'm saying because I am on this call through Ayolawal. You never know what you can get from me. I don't know what I can get from anybody because somebody introduced me to Ayolawal, and that is how life moves. That is why I said honor is the currency of elevation. People have got, I know we know the story. If we don't know, maybe I may not be able to delve into details. The former president Jonathan, how he became the deputy governor and eventually became the president. So many stories like that, just through honor. You know, people look at you, you know, again, I hope I'm not digressing. You know, when I speak about honor, it is now, honor is an intentional act. I hope, please, if we can just note down something, or we can go back to these notes, or if you want clarity, you can please, access me. You see, when I talk about honor is extremely intentional. You practice it. You practice honor. And honor is seen in your demeanor. It is in your approach to life. It is how you greet people. It is how you greet people. It is how you relate with people. It is how people perceive you. So once you are intentional about honoring people, about honoring things, people will see that around you. You know, when you honor people and things, it has an aura, it has a fragrance. So that's why when you're not there, people will be able to say, he's respectful. Oh, I think we can trust him. They've not had any dealings with you before, So people will just say, no, you can trust this person. I trust this person to deliver. And they've never had anything to do with you before. It is because of what they can perceive from you. So when I talk about honor is an intentional act from you to respect other people, other men, or you respect what makes somebody else unique. Do you understand? So for instance, if I take my car to the mechanic, my mechanic is most likely uneducated, right? He probably doesn't speak good English or is not as eloquent as I am. But guess what? I don't know how to fix the car. I don't know what is wrong with my car. So what he lacks in eloquence or dressing well, he makes up for it in knowing how to deal with cars. That is what I am talking about. So if I take my car to the mechanic, I'll say, good afternoon, sir. How do we do this, sir? No, that is not taking about that some of them can be crazy. We all know that. Do we understand? But I must respect that thing in him. I must respect the fact that he knows what is wrong with my car and I do not know it. Honor is the currency of elevation. And I said, if you want access to higher levels in life, ask yourself, what have I been treating casually that deserves people respect? So, practical tips. How do you relate with your boss, your friends, your business acquaintances? What would people say about you? Are you the kind of person that you argue with your boss all the time? We are quick to say, that my boss doesn't know anything, or that my boss is just always just dropping money. That my boss just knows how to steal money. can you see the car that man? Can you see the car that man just bought? You know, that man just chop money. Me, I no go grill me too. I'm going to steal what I can steal from this company. I don't care. I'm sorry. If we talk like that, or if we're in the company of people who talk like that, life may not afford us the opportunity to eventually become a boss. How do you relate with your friends? Are you just someone who is always looking for a shortcut? I just want to make money. I just want, we don't do any, some of us don't do anything for free, some of us, and it is not, we are not judging anybody, but it's just a call to reality here. Some of us don't do anything for free. If money is not tied to it, we are not interested. How do you relate to business acquaintances? What would people say about you? You can write this down, please, or you can, type it on your phone. Have you thought about it? That what will people say about me when I'm not there? When all the chips are down? When nobody has anything to gain from you? What do people say about you from afar? When they see, some people see us every day, but we are not necessarily close friends. What do you think they will say about you? Because they would have seen you relate with other people. They would have seen you relate, how you handle situations. What do you think they will say about you? Are you financially responsible? Can you be trusted with money? This one, if I start talking about it, it's going to, in fact, we can take the whole day. Please, we can write these things down. No? Am I financially responsible? Can I be trusted with money? I was faced with a situation like weeks back. I had some money and I was faced with the opportunity not to declare it. And I spoke to myself that, why would I want to hold on to money that came in and I'll not declare? Is there anything, can this money save my life? Is it going to change my life? And that was it. I'm sure that was the devil whispering to me that and you know what? The funny thing is, nobody needs to know about the money. If I can actually claim that money is for me, actually, but I was supposed to declare it. And I did. Now, do you have basic phone etiquette? You see this phone etiquette thing, eh? You see this phone thing? God. God help us. People are talking to people. Anyway, I will discuss more about this phone etiquette when we get to lots of listening. How well of a communicator are you? Are you working towards improving your communication skills? How do you abbreviate when you send or respond to message? And now somebody can do something for you and you send THX. I've seen it though. TNX. Okay, we abbreviate. Happy New. Why do people do things like that? Somebody will send you money. I've seen it happen, even from a bit of older people. I've sent money to someone and the person replied with TNX. I was in shock. Now, please put yourself in my shoes. If an opportunity arises, and I want you to reply me with an emoji. If an opportunity arises for me to send money again to that person, please, will I send it? Please, I want your sincere responses. Okay, good. But I hope we know that some of us do some of these things. So ours may not be sending THX or TNX to other people. It may be that somebody did something for us and we did not go back to say thank you. Or we just, if somebody does something for you, don't lump them up with every other person. Do you understand what I'm saying? If somebody recommends you for something, or somebody, stood out for you, stuck out their neck for you, don't just give them general thank you. You take out your time. You take out effort. In fact, you send people to go and tell them thank you. That is honor. You are honoring that person. You are putting in the work to that relationship. Do you spam people with further messages? Your boss? Somebody, there are some certain people who are not on the same level as you are. We have a few of, important people in our lives. And some people will just be spamming them with messages. Hey, God, send this to 5 people and you will see what God will do for you today. You're sending that to a CEO. You're sending that to, somebody who is feeding like 100 people. They don't have time for that. Anything that is coming from you to people who you look up should be something of value. That is how you honor those people, and that is how you honor that relationship. You go to people from value, not every time, give me. Yes, sir. Please, sir, I want. Yes, sir. Can you do something for me? Can you? Don't forget that the people who are high up there, they have enough charlatans around them. They have people who just want. So why don't you come from a place of value? Why don't you look for what you can add to their life? And it must be sincere. It must be a sincere act. Don't forget, we are discussing honor. And at the beginning, I said, honor is divided into 2. Honoring men, people, relationships, and honoring things. So here I'm focusing more on relational honor. Honoring people, honoring men. I've spoken about honoring all men regardless of the social class, regardless of their eloquence. Now I'm talking about honoring relationships with people who are higher up, people we look up to. You must honor that relationship by coming from a place of value, not from a place of need. Because if you come to them with need all the time, it's only a matter of time that they cut you off. Are you one of those people who say exactly how you feel? I will say it's the way it's on my mind. No, you are not allowed to do that. It is not aligning with the law of honor. You can say how you feel in a structured manner. I'll say that is it, and you just say brum like that. Hey, no. You structure it. You put your emotions together. And this is what I always advocate. When you're angry or emotional, you please refrain from talking. Do you understand? Refrain, pull back a bit. Then you find out that by the time you're communicating, you are able to, be in control. Because people lose it. I have had a boss lose her job. My goodness. This person was at the pinnacle of her career, and she lost her job because she lost herself. She got angry in a meeting where you have commissioners, where you have where you have State House of Assembly members. She lost her job. She was at the pinnacle of her career. Do you like to listen to your own voice? If not that I'm the one, talking, you won't hear my voice. So I'll take my time, to digest and listen to what people are saying. So this last point takes us to the law of listening. So can we go to the law of listening? Okay. So can I take questions on the law of honor, or maybe I think I'll just round it up. So I say here that most people listen to reply, very few people listen to understand, and that is why a lot of us remain stuck. The law of listening states that your growth is directly tied to what you are willing to hear and accept. Listening is more than hearing words. It is humility in action. It is actually humility for you to listen. And this listening is in phases too. So the listening can be when people are criticizing you. Listening can be, when people come to you with problems, and people can also be, maybe your friends come to you for advice. So listening is staggered in that way. There are voices around you right now, social media, mentors, experiences, even failures and wins, all trying to tell you and remind you of something. But if your mind is closed, you will miss the lesson and repeat the pain. So consider this. How many opportunities have you lost because you refused correction? This is still the law of listening. Some of us, we are set in our ways. We don't take anything from anybody. It's just me. That thing I know is the right way. What I know is the only correct thing. What I have heard is the only correct thing. It is only my opinion that matters. No other opinion matters. Whatever you are telling me, I will not listen to it. How many relationships have suffered because you didn't truly listen? Marriages, friendships, partners, either you are dating or you are courting. So your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your wife, your husband is hammering on something, either your date nights, or I would really like you to stop smoking, or I really don't want you to keep this particular friend, or I don't like the way you're managing our finances. And just because we are set in our ways, we are not listening. How many mistakes have repeated themselves because we ignored feedback? When I say listening is, and I think I've been able to break it into like three. I think, when we listen to be corrected, when we are listening to people who are criticizing us, when we are listening, to our friends to give advice, and when we are, just generally listening. A lot of us, and I always say that we like to listen to our voices, and it's just a human thing. I like to hear my voice. I mean, my voice sounds good, We just want to listen to our voices. We are not prepared to, and we do it. We are not intentional about it. We are not intentional about it. But we are not used to listening. We are used to talking. And talking is good, because we've been taught, to pray, to confess, you confess what you want, say what you want. Fantastic. But it is also good to listen. You listen, you sit still, listen to people, listen to your spouse, listen to your business partner, listen to your boss. They're trying to tell you something. And you see, in that listening, it may not be in what they're saying, they may be saying something, but it is not all. It may be in their facial expression. It may be in their body language. So somebody is saying something, but the real emotions can be seen on the face. You have to listen to that body language, listen to the face. Yes, you can listen to someone's face. You can listen to someone's hands. Some people are talking, their hands are shaking. They are intense, are trying to convey something. You have to take out time to, don't just say, if you see the way that person they shake, me, I'm not looking face, so no. They are trying to tell us something. At times we are even able to decipher if somebody has mental issues. They are saying something, it means something else, and you are not able to marry it together instead of getting angry. Do you understand? So please, can I see the next slide? So listening means accepting that you don't know everything. Listening means being open to uncomfortable truths, being open to objective criticism, allowing your thinking to be challenged. Yes, learn, relearn, unlearn. Learn, unlearn, relearn consistently. Because what you knew 10 years ago might have changed. Your concept of marriage, your concept of fatherhood, your concept of motherhood, your concept of business that you knew last year, honestly, has changed this year. So there's AI. There is a, if you know what this war, ongoing war in Iran and US has taught me, it's unbelievable. You must learn, unlearn, relearn. You must hear what people are not saying, because not everybody is a good communicator. So if you practice the art of listening, and listening is being calm, you take out time and listen, you are able to just learn a lot of things. And I said, remember that when you listen deeply, you learn faster. You grow faster. I repeated that twice. Can I see the next slide, or is this the end of the slide? So I said practical tips. Just listen. You will always catch yourself saying more than what is necessary. Pause or keep quiet. Exaggeration and lying are byproducts of speaking too much. So a lot of us lie for no reason, or we just exaggerate, or we just paint a picture of what is not, just because we just want to talk. But if you listen, if you have practiced the art of calmness and listening, you'll find out that we are not, talking too much. Always make a conscious effort to listen. And I said here, what I have in my notes here, I said, there's something we call active listening. We may want to write it down. We call it active listening. It is, you note the body language, you note facial expression. It is when you are intentional, when you are talking to people, you're intentional about avoiding distractions. So when you are one-on-one, it could be your friend. And we should not undermine the importance of our friends. Because I'm with you today, I don't know what you're commanding tomorrow. We must have the habit of dropping our phones. And I remember I said I was going to talk more about phone etiquette. This phone thing is bad. A lot of us, we may not know, a lot of us, when we're in public, we put our phones on speaker. Why? Why are we doing that? Why are we putting our phones on speakers? We have AirPods now that we can use. When we pick up our phone to receive our calls, you can excuse yourself when you're in a gathering, or just, say, excuse me, move out of where there is noise. When someone comes to meet you and say, oh, I want to see you for something, drop the phone. Drop your phone. There's something I have done, and God help me, because I'm also speaking to myself. I timed my social media apps 2 hours every day, So it tells me that what you have done is enough. It's okay. So when people come to speak to us, when we're in the office, when we are working on something, we should try and avoid this phone distraction. So someone comes to meet me, for instance. I'm giving us a real life example, real story. Lawyer, I really need to speak to you. Something is happening in my marriage. I make sure I throw my phone in the bag, because somebody is coming to me with a burden, with emotions. Do you understand? In fact, if my phone rings and I see that I can defer that call, I cut it and I say, please go ahead. I'm listening to you. Because somebody is coming to me with real life problems, real life issues. Some people have gone into depression from marriage problems, from financial problems. So when they trust you enough to approach you, please, a phone is a mini circle, in what you can make them have a rethink or just feel somehow. Do you understand? Put away every distraction when we are with people, when we are with friends. Some of us will say, oh, I want to hang out with my friends today. And maybe you're in a lounge, you're in a club, and we are all on our phones. And we are not catching up. And we are wondering why relationships are failing, why friendships are failing. We are not talking anymore. We are not communicating. And I remember I mentioned it initially that, are you a good communicator? How well are you working on your communication skills? You must, as a matter of urgency and necessity, work on your communication skills. You cannot evade it. And so you must know that there's a different way to speak to your boss, a different way to speak to a mentor, someone you respect. There's a different way to speak to your friends. And you know, there are some of our friends, we are friends, though, but they have grown higher than us in life. There's a different way to speak to them. So if I have a friend, for instance, I have a friend who is the MD of a company. We are friends, oh, we are pals, paddies. But guess what? I will not say, Omo, you'll be fool. Oh. I won't say that. I wouldn't. I have friends who are magistrates. I have friends who are judges. I do not, in fact, I have friends who are sons. Yes. I met someone, you know, and we talked, we spoke. Okay, the person was a bit higher up at that point, but guess what? The year after, they appointed him his son. The next time I was going to Leonard Silk, sir. When I meet my friends who are magistrates, do you know, I'll be like, your honor. When I see my friends who are judges, my Lord, they laugh about it. We laugh, we still whatever, but I make sure I am intentional about the respect that I give them. And guess what? That has only increased the respect they also give me. So we should not say, so because you don't become personal, so because you don't become somebody now, person if he talks to you, you are not allowed to say that, sir. You can't. Because if you're in that position, you would not want anybody to speak to you like that. And the reason you can say that is because you are not in certain places. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, I am a bit privileged now by virtue of what I do to, you know, I kind of dish out instructions to people who are older than me in age and people who are older than me in level, you know, in the organogram. And I am able to meander my way through them because I have chosen to honor them. And I spoke to and I had to sit down to speak to myself. And I said, listen, they may not be lawyers, but they are also experts in their field. I'm not an expert in their field. Even if I am giving out instructions to them and they have to defer to me, I must honor them and respect them and speak to them in a certain manner. So guess what? The issues that a lot of people have had with other people, I don't have it with them because it is always, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Even the ones that are extremely difficult, yes, ma'am. How do you want us to do it, ma'am? Okay, ma'am. I am sorry I missed your call. Because I have to be extra intentional because of the office I hold. Because I should, in fact, by virtue of what I do, I should just damn all of them that, you know what, you guys go to pieces. I don't care. And I really should not be able to care because whatever I do, they will still have to come back to me. But that is not how life works. Do we understand? So please, so I said avoid distractions, put away the phone. So to be an active listener, you must be genuinely curious. Be interested, you know, in topics that you don't know about, even the ones you know about. There is more to learn. There's always more to learn. You never know it all. You know, when I was preparing for this, I must tell you, I'm always busy, hectic, but I still took out time to, you know, to read up on what I'm telling you. And guess what? I still found out things that I did not know, that I have not seen before. Do we understand? Ask questions. Ask questions. You know, ask. Let's be like children. Ask questions. You'll be surprised at what you will learn. When people come to speak to us, be careful not to judge. Don't interrupt them unnecessarily. Let people just talk. You know, and let me just quickly put it here. Let us practice calmness, stillness. You have to just sit still. That is, we can go and read up on it. The law of not law, practicing the art of meditation. I know we may have heard it. Meditate. Just be still. Then when people are speaking to us, don't look nervous. Don't be glancing don't be, you know, doing your eyeball from side to side. Don't be distracted. Don't avoid eye contact. Look at people who are talking to you. I make eye contact. It shows confidence. It shows you are listening. Do we understand? Then again, when people are talking to us, you can, when you pause, you can just say, oh, you can ask questions for clarity's sake. Oh, so are you saying that? So for instance, I'm giving an example. So you can just say, are you saying that the man did not come with the money on so dates? Oh, and the person will respond. So that shows, number one, that you're listening, you're not distracted, and that the person is communicating. And I said, except you're an anchor, a news host, or comic who makes money from talking, always say less than is necessary. So I think that brings me to the end of I think that brings me to the end uh, of my discourse today. I hope I was able to hit someone's heart. I mean, talking to all of us, myself inclusive, I hope we go back and start practicing honor. Honor is key. Honor will take us to where we do not know. Honor will open doors. When you honor people and relationships, when people are speaking about you, you won't believe it. Or you'll be saying, hey, is this me that they are talking about? Do you understand? So please, it is an assignment that I am giving to us. Let us be intentional about the way and manner we speak to people, the way and manner we relate. Don't just be saying, oh, Joe, this behavior that we see all around. Please don't join them. When you say good morning with intention, with confidence. Good morning, ma. Ma, sir, we will not kill anybody. Good morning, doctor. Good morning. Be intense with a smile on your face. Do you know what that person will remember? There is nobody who is resistant to honor. Good afternoon. Oh, can I come in? Courtesy, etiquette, it's important. So, I think I've overstretched my time. They didn't even give me time, but this brings me to the end of my discourse. Thank you, moderator. Thank you, Mr. Yolawa, for having me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. We really, really appreciate this powerful sessions, the wisdom nuggets, the insights that you have shared with us this evening. Thank you very much, man. In fact, one of my own take-home points is a lot of people desire success, but not too many people are willing to, sacrifice and really go through the discipline required to achieve success. Thank you very much, man. Quickly, do we have questions for our guest speaker this evening? Kindly signify so that we can recognize you. Mr. Oyelade Oyeyinka, do you have a question? Please go ahead, unmute your mic and ask your question, please.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Oludotun Oyemi. And a very big one for you, guest speaker for today. You weren't just speaking to yourself, like you said, you were actually speaking to me personally, because I was able to capture one or two things I don't do well. Not that I don't know they exist, but I kind of overlook them, which I think there are need for me to pay attention to them and do them rightly. So, but one thing I would like to ask is this quick one. In the aspects of listening, people can take you for granted when you know that you pay listening ear to them and you want to listen to every of their let me call it feedback. But most of the times when people are giving you, well, I wouldn't say, because I'm even happy when you said constructive criticism. When people criticize, majority just criticize subjectively. It's not being objective. And they still will want you to take back their feedback, even when it is wrong. And you trying to tell them this is not done that way, this is supposed to be this way because this is the goal it should achieve. They will still be hell-bent on you and telling you that they are so quick to tell you that you don't take feedbacks. So that is just so is there a trick one can use to Because in me, well, while saying this, something came to my mind just now, and maybe I should just pay, okay, I've heard you. But then in the real sense, I am not taking that, because I definitely will just seal the little I can seal and move on with the one I have to move on with. That is about that. And secondly, my second question goes to the part when you say honor. Again, it looked like my first question, because honoring, yeah, some people in your place of work, honor them. Honor doesn't really mean when you are, it doesn't, I don't know how to put this. Okay, sorry if I'm taking too much time in explaining this, but please, for the Yoruba people, where we come from, if you're really born and nurtured with honor, you have to respect everybody. But in the line of you trying to respect someone, yes, it's a senior colleague in the office, and you're trying to respect, but the person is taking it for granted and feeling on top of ease on the hill and thinking that is deserve everything, even when officially you are even required to even call people by their first name. So that side, I actually stopped doing that as well, because when I saw the reaction they came with, I have to just draw back on it. And I feel like, well, let me give it to you what you required officially. Because if me giving you this made you think you can be going the extra mile, and the people that will not even respond to you at all, you will not pay them attention. So I think this is just enough for me to just so that I can quickly get your feedback on them. Thank you very much, guest speaker for today.
Thank you. Am I Oyeyinka, Mr. Oyeyinka, right? Is that your first name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I was laughing when you were asking your question, because I mean, for anybody who has been in the work environment, I mean, they would understand, totally understand what you're talking about. I have had people tell me my heels are too high. I've had people tell me I'm overzealous. In fact, I've had a boss call me to a meeting to wash me. I've had the boss I greet. She chooses to answer when she's in a good mood, or she just didn't like me because she felt the boss, the MD took a liking to me. So I totally understand what you're saying. And it's going to be wicked of me to tell you to just go on and continue. No, it doesn't work like that. So it's especially when you're dealing with your bosses. I have realized that if a boss doesn't like you, some people just don't like you. There's nothing you can do. Let's be clear with that fact. There's nothing. They just really don't. They just don't like you, or they feel you are a threat. They feel you're a threat to them, and it is a real thing. I did not know. I've always heard, but some people really think that you're a threat to them, so they would do anything to poke you to get a reaction. The reaction is what you shouldn't give. So the things that I would advocate and advise is don't stop greeting. It's courtesy. But you set boundaries. Don't stop greeting. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Because it's something I practiced with an extremely toxic person. I didn't stop. That greeting, any other thing will not happen. But the greeting did not stop. Oh, good morning, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. There was one day she said, why am I greeting her too much? But I didn't stop greeting. Right. So what I did was I made sure that she couldn't hold me to anything. She was just angry at my existence. But if they ask her that what did this girl do to you, she couldn't really pinpoint. She couldn't hold it down. Then she now started criticizing my work. Unfortunately, that also did not work out fine. Do you understand? So there are some basics that I would advise. If the person is your boss, and this is sad but true, they get to speak to people that you may not have the privilege to speak to yet. They will be in meetings you may not have the privilege to be in yet. Whether we like it or yes, that is the advantage of people who are superior to us. So this is the trick. That is why I said, don't stop greeting. As much as possible, remain courteous as much as possible, and do not give a reaction. Do you understand what I'm saying? I've been in your shoes and I totally understand. And I'm telling you the real life practical tips, practical things, not this one, not textbook, that I did. I made sure that my work was impeccable. My work was, no, my work was impeccable. So you couldn't hold me to the quality of what I do. And you couldn't hold me to the fact that I was rude to you, because I know companies, organizations are very big on insubordination and stuff like that. So don't stop greeting, but you can set boundaries. Do you understand? Set boundaries and I mean, you have to tailor your boundaries to how your relationship is and how your organization works. I may not be able to give you that, but set boundaries, please. Set boundaries, but don't stop the greeting, the courtesies. No, don't stop it. If you want to approach your boss, be intentional about even looking meek. Be intentional about asking. Oh, then you now go back. If your boss is a micromanager, oh, before you do stuff, oh, Masa, do you want me to still do this? Should I do this? Should I not do that? Always give a feedback. Do you understand? So that way it is, you stay clear of a lot of these issues. Always reconfirm, from the line of authority. Ma, is it okay to send this email? Ma, do you want to review this letter before I send it out? Or, sir, do you think I should talk to this person? I understand what you're saying, and some people are honestly, unbelievable. But these tips, I think, will help you. And I hope that answered your question.
Thank you very much, ma.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
All right, great. Miss Abigail or Mrs. Abigail, I can see you signify earlier on. Please, if you have your question ready, kindly unmute your mic and ask your question.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for
Good evening.
this opportunity. But I think the person that asked question earlier already covered my question.
All right. Thank you. Awesome. All right. Do we still have another person with a question? Mr. Ayelabawo, please get ready to please give us vote of thanks for this evening. Do we still have another person with a question this evening for our guest speaker?
Please check the chat room.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm trying to navigate to the chat section. Yes. All right. So there's a question in the chat section here. Okay. So someone is asking that you should share your slide with us, man. I think that can be done. So we will ask that you share with the admin or with Mr. Olawa himself, and then this can be shared with every participant that joined this call. Is that okay, man?
That's fine. That's very fine. That's okay. It's fine.
All right. Awesome. Then I think, Nurse Doc, this your question might not be relevant for this discussion this evening. Kindly please talk to any of our admin on the call, and they're on the WhatsApp platform as well to get answer to this question. All right, saying none other question, Mr. Aye Labao. I hope I
Do you know any community around struggling and in need of help? Maybe they lack water or basic resources. The Alawal Empowerment Foundation is reaching out to you. We want to hear from you. We're calling for nominations of communities that need help. Maybe there are people trying their best but still struggling. We want to hear their story. We want to hear from you. Together, we can bring hope to where it is needed the most. Do you know any community around struggling and in need of help? Maybe they lack water or basic resources. The Alawal Empowerment Foundation is reaching out to you. We want to hear from you. We're calling for nominations of communities that need help. Maybe there are people trying their best but still struggling. We want to hear their story. We want to hear from you. Together, we can bring hope to where it is needed the most.
Thank you so much, admin, for that powerful message. So once again, let me reiterate. We are currently seeking, nominations for communities that requires or that needs urgent intervention in any of the areas I was mentioned earlier. Can you reach out to us using any of our official mediums, and our officers will be glad to attend to such communities. Then once again, please, we want to encourage you to please follow us on all our social media platforms, like, comment, engage with our content, and share them with your network as well. To call it a day this evening, Mr. Ayelabowo, if you're on the call, kindly unmute your mic and give us a vote of thanks. Mr. Ayelabowo Odunton Abidemi, are you on the call, sir? Mr. Ayelabowo Odunton Abidemi, are you on the call, sir?
Mr. Dotun, while we
Yes,
wait
sir.
for Mr. Adabu, please can we take that last question? I think the speaker would love to take that as well too. And the person that sent it, we actually need to hear from the speaker. Apology for that.
Okay. What if your boss keep insulting you and you don't want to talk bad? This question is not correctly phrased.
Okay, sorry, I think I can say, what if your boss keeps insulting you and you don't want to talk, and they always say you'll be talking like a lawyer? Please don't talk. He does not want the person to talk. I think we can get the message. Maybe the person is saying the boss says he talks like a lawyer because maybe the person keeps arguing with the boss. I'm sure maybe there's some sort of banter going on. And okay, I think I can take it. It's fine. I think I get that. Okay, so this is the deal. Number one, we must know that even for people who are bosses, they also have some bosses have self-esteem issues. A lot of us, even though they are bosses, also have issues they are dealing with. So the fact that there are bosses does not exempt them from bad behavior on even issues that they've not, personal issues that they've not sorted, or character issues that they've not sorted. So some people are bosses, but they have bad behavior. It's bad behavior. Whether we like it or yes, it's just bad behavior. You can't take it away. But unfortunately, they are risen to the top. What do we do? And I've been one who has always kicked against this saying that deal with your boss or something, manage your boss. I also say, why won't the boss manage the subordinates? But that's a topic for another day. So if you know that your boss is this kind of person who does it, so it is most likely this person, Esther, Michael, is maybe you are, it may be that you're argumentative and your boss doesn't like it, or you're someone who likes to put forward your points, as it they hot. There are some of us like that, as it they hot, I'll just give you back. No, so for some of us, the moment we disagree with something, we just give it back. There are times it doesn't work like that. It works with some bosses, it does not work with some bosses. So my advice is you learn and you check out the character trait of your boss. If your boss doesn't want you to, attack, not attack, I'm trying to remember the word. Some people don't like to be challenged or questioned, so note their character. So if that kind of boss tells you do this, okay, ma, okay, sir, you do it. Then you go back, because I've worked with somebody like this before. Then you go back and say, oh, I've done it like this, but don't you think, what if we do it like this? Or I'm thinking, or can we explore this other way? Is it of two things? Is it a no, or is it a okay, or yes? Is it it cannot be outside those things. Do you understand? But because you have obeyed first, some bosses are like soldiers. They're like soldiers. Obey the last command. That is their own concept of being a boss. That's what they understand that a boss is. Obey the last command. Nothing else, nothing more. I don't want to hear anything. Do you understand? So if you know that is the character of your boss, please do it. Then you now go back with your, with your idea, or, oh, you said we should do it like this, but can we also check it out like this? Maybe we can get something, you find a way to manage, the situation. In fairness, and like I always say, I mean, some people, we shouldn't be argumentative with some people. Whether the person is calm or not, please, we shouldn't be argumentative. We shouldn't argue with them or get unnecessarily defensive. It wouldn't all go well. Just for your peace and for your sanity, honestly, not because you fear anybody, but really for your peace and sanity. Do you understand? Don't argue. Don't get defensive. Okay, but do we do it this other way, or do we check it out this way, or